It's February 17th, 2025, the 20th day of the Lunar New Year, 10:30 a.m. Job postings here are sparse, suggesting small businesses and family workshops haven't restarted or don't need hires. Recruitment platforms aren't full of listings, yet more people are job hunting than in past years. Wages at some firms have edged up slightly. For those without skills, like 1980s-born workers, options are limited to food delivery, ride-hailing, or courier work. Otherwise, it's construction labor or security guard roles.
This vlogger mentioned that many shops in the industrial area still haven't opened, even though it's already the 20th day of the Lunar New Year. Maybe they're still celebrating, or maybe they know there won't be much business even if they do open, so they may as well stay closed. Yiwu, a major hub for China's foreign trade, is known for doing business with over 200 countries and regions. It has a high concentration of small foreign trade companies and is the world's largest wholesale market for small commodities. It provides jobs for many workers, but this year, it's harder for people to find work after the holiday. Have you noticed there are fewer people in Yiwu this year? This time of year is usually the peak period for workers returning. But now, many rental properties are sitting empty and the streets are quieter. The only jobs that seem to be in demand are ride-hailing, food delivery, and driving services. But the wages are pitiful, just 4,000 yuan a month. After paying rent and utilities, how much is left? Do you think there's still a future in Yiwu? The number of rental listings reflects how many workers have returned. The same situation is happening in Guangzhou, often called the Southern Gateway of China. A vlogger shared a video showing that this year, landlords in Guangzhou are personally coming out to find tenants, which is unusual. Look at this. This is the Shangcheng Bridge area in Guangzhou. I was shocked by the scene in front of me. Everywhere I look, landlords are out here trying to rent out their places. This is incredibly rare. In the past, landlords never had to worry about finding tenants. Every year after the holiday, they would just tell us that the rent had gone up by 100 or 200 yuan, and they didn't care whether we accepted it or not. Now I can't help but wonder, did fewer people return to Guangzhou this year? Are that many apartments really sitting empty? But at the same time, the labor market is overcrowded, and people are struggling to find jobs. On February 18th, a vlogger in Guangzhou posted a video showing that the job market was so packed that people could barely move.
There are no jobs in Guangzhou. Tens of thousands of people can't find work.
As jobs become harder to find, even low-skilled positions are raising their requirements. Recently, the restaurant chain Haidilao required a college degree for food delivery jobs. Now in Guangzhou, a local district office is hiring sanitation workers, but applicants must be under 35 years old. If they have a driver's license, the age limit is slightly relaxed to 40. Some people online are saying this leaves no options for those over 35. According to Chinese media reports, these jobs involve driving, street cleaning, and moving goods. The working hours are typically 8 hours a day, with overtime pay for extra hours. Mr. Li, a Guangzhou native now living in Southeast Asia, said that in the past, people in Guangzhou looked down on sanitation jobs, but now requiring applicants to be under 35 shows that even young people need these jobs. Meanwhile, China's population is aging. There are fewer young people and more middle-aged and elderly individuals, creating an inverted pyramid. A small number of young people will have to support a large elderly population. With employment and retiring issues piling up, society could become unstable. He blamed the Chinese Communist Party for poor governance, saying that if China had a democratically elected government, it would have been voted out long ago. In recent years, China's economy has declined, and unemployment has surged. At the same time, under the banner of corporate reform, state-owned enterprises have also started mass layoffs. After the Chinese New Year holiday, many people on social media shared posts about getting laid off from state-owned enterprises. Some predicted that in 2025, the construction industry within state-owned enterprises would be hit the hardest. One female vlogger posted a video saying that she was about to be laid off right after returning to work. Her household expenses couldn't be covered by her husband's salary alone. She's in her 30s, supporting both elderly parents and young children, and she simply can't afford to lose her job. Our company is laying off employees. On the first day back to work after the holiday, we received the news. I never expected that even state-owned enterprises would start cutting jobs. I work in the real estate industry, and because of the overall economic downturn, our company's performance declined last year. This time, the business department is cutting 15% of its staff, while the administrative department is reducing by 10%. I joined at the end of 2024 and have only been here for a month and a half. In my department, I'm the most likely to be let go. Another video online showed that a central state-owned enterprises construction bureau announced that management staff would not receive salaries in February, and that a bottom-ranking elimination system would be implemented. A female vlogger mentioned that layoffs in state-owned and central enterprises have been widespread since 2024. For example, China's Southern Power Grid downsized multiple departments, cutting them entirely. A state-owned bank also canceled 60% of its expansion plans. Many fresh graduates who joined last year are now being laid off.
天哪，完全没有想到。
I can't believe that finding a job in 2025 is even harder than in 2024. A friend of mine from Zhejiang University complained to me a few days ago. His entire department was laid off. He had worked at that central enterprise since graduation. We all thought it was a stable job, but out of nowhere, he was told he had 30 days to find a new job. He was completely shocked. No one expected that even central enterprises could be this unstable. Because of strict government controls, these online users didn't name the specific enterprises that are laying off workers. However, official information confirms that these job cuts are happening. According to Chinese state media, at the end of 2024, Go Ping, a deputy director of China's State-Owned Asset Supervision and Administration Commission, stated that by the end of 2025, state-owned enterprises would universally implement a bottom-ranking adjustment and an exit system for underperforming employees. According to official definitions, bottom-ranking adjustments refers to reassessing employees based on their performance. Those ranked at the bottom may face demotion, reassignment, dismissal, or mandatory training. The exit system means that employees who still can't meet job requirements after training or reassignment will have their contracts terminated. Chinese independent media reports indicate that in 2025, state-owned enterprises have already begun layoffs, salary reductions, non-renewal of contract workers, and downsizing. The once stable iron rice bowl is no longer secure. One article shared a conversation from last winter. A worker named Xiao Wang mentioned that his workplace required all contract employees to voluntarily submit resignation letters. Those who refused would simply not have their contracts renewed, without any severance pay. He sighed and said, "I knew the layoffs were coming, but I didn't expect them to happen this fast. No one was prepared for this." Commenting on these layoffs, U.S. economist David J. Huang stated that the economic downturn is the immediate cause of job cuts at central enterprises. In the past, these companies relied on government subsidies, monopolistic advantages, and financial support. But now, government finances are strained, competition is fiercer, and these enterprises are struggling to stay profitable. To stabilize finances, layoffs have become inevitable. However, Huang pointed out a deeper reason behind the layoffs: the redistribution of power and resources within central enterprises. He explained that these firms operate more like semi-government agencies, with staffing and resources heavily influenced by political forces. The ongoing layoffs could be part of a larger effort by certain factions to reassert control over these enterprises, removing older personnel to make room for their own people. It's worth noting that after the 20th National Congress of the Chinese Communist Party in October 2022, a group of Xi Jinping's close allies took over key positions across various sectors. Under the banner of anti-corruption, the government launched a sweeping personnel purge in different economic strongholds. David Huang pointed out that while state-owned enterprises are laying off workers, the top executives and those with connections remain unaffected. In some cases, executive salaries have even increased despite the layoffs. This isn't about optimizing the workforce, it's about ensuring that those in power get a bigger slice of a shrinking pie. As a result, state-owned enterprises are turning into smaller, more exclusive circles of privilege, eventually becoming a club for the elite where only those with the right connections can benefit. On February 8th, a vlogger shared that after working for a central state-owned enterprise for 4 years, he was suddenly laid off. He had already been dismissed twice without reason in December 2023 and March 2024. He explained that leadership changes at the top meant that employees without connections were the first to go. Huang noted that these layoffs signal the end of the so-called iron rice bowl for regular employees. In the future, fewer young people will see state-owned enterprises as long-term career options. Instead, they may take what they can in the short term and leave. He predicted that the wave of layoffs will continue and could even extend to government jobs, further shaking the confidence of China's middle class. Huang further explained that layoffs in state-owned enterprises, the collapse of private businesses, and the withdrawal of foreign investments are all connected. Even if state-owned enterprises are no longer safe, the overall sense of economic security will collapse, affecting consumer spending, investment, and even birth rates. As more laid-off workers become discontented, the government will face increasing challenges in social control. In response, authorities may impose stricter restrictions on free speech and tighten control over public discourse. The government is carrying out these massive layoffs under the guise of state-owned enterprise reform, claiming poor performance as the reason. But private businesses are in an even tougher spot. As the US-China tech war escalates, on February 17th, Xi Jinping held a rare meeting in Beijing with private business leaders. The Chinese government invited key figures such as Huawei's Ren Zhengfei, BYD's Wang Chuanfu, Hangzhou Unitree Robotics' Wang Xingxing, Xiaomi's Lei Jun, and Alibaba's Jack Ma. Political commentator Zhou Xiaohui pointed out that in China, most large private enterprises must have strong political backing and connections to survive. Otherwise, they face ruin, like entrepreneur Sun Dawu, whose company was driven to bankruptcy by the CCP, and whose family members were imprisoned. Zhou believes that private business owners in China understand that any government favor is temporary. Without structural changes, they could easily become the next targets of government crackdowns. China's private sector is already struggling with financial crises. On the same day as Beijing's private enterprise meeting, Shandong-based private company Taishan Steel defaulted on its debts, sparking protests from investors. Meanwhile, on February 11th, reports surfaced that the well-known unicorn startup Zhongmu Technology had collapsed, with its CEO, Tang Rui, fleeing overseas. Amid this bleak economic outlook, even though the Chinese New Year holiday has been over for some time, many people are still job hunting without success.
I've already interviewed with more than 20 companies. It's just too difficult. I originally thought that after the new year, I could quickly land a job by applying frequently, but reality is completely different from what I imagined. At first, I had high hopes and set my salary expectations accordingly, but I kept lowering them. And even now, no company wants to hire me. I've started to seriously doubt myself. How about you guys?
A woman shared that she had been unemployed for nearly 6 months and recently started sending out job applications again. In 2025, there's no such thing as a peak hiring season anymore. I was laid off at the end of September last year and have been job hunting ever since. I went through multiple interviews before and after the new year. Now that I've started applying again, I've realized that the job market hasn't opened up as I expected. The available positions are pretty much the same as before, but competition has become even fiercer. I've had interviews with several companies recently. The department heads seem to approve of me, and I know I have the necessary skills and experience, but every time, they just have a short chat with me and then move on. I have no idea why I never get a final offer. While people are struggling to find work, robots are starting to take over jobs. On February 18th, a viral video showed a government service robot appearing in Nantou ancient town, Shenzhen. The robot was wearing a police vest and moving with assistance from a police officer. However, it suddenly slipped and had to be steadied by nearby people, drawing laughter from onlookers. In the end, the robot could only clumsily pace back and forth. Some online users commented, "This looks like just a media stunt." The political message is stronger than the practical use. They should at least put it on a non-slip surface. It takes 4 or 5 people just to keep one robot steady. This is nowhere near Elon Musk's robots. The gap is huge. If this robot was patrolling alone, would someone just steal it? Another video shows the robot taking a few steps before stopping and waving at the crowd. Some online users also posted videos claiming that Shenzhen's community grid workers have started using robots. One clip shows a robot wearing a uniform with Nanshan grid worker written on it. Grid workers are a type of low-level government personnel used by the Chinese Communist Party to monitor residents. Although these robots are still far from intelligent, the recent emergence of DeepSeek has triggered fears in China about AI replacing human jobs. Reports indicate that the first batch of 70 AI-powered civil servants developed using DeepSeek has started working in Shenzhen's Futian district. Last year, some gas stations even introduced robotic fuel attendants.
What is this? They've developed 70 AI government employees. We all knew AI was coming to the workplace, but giving AI official positions? That happened way too fast. How will they handle social insurance for AI workers? And if they have conflicts with colleagues, will they report it like human employees?
The vlogger added that these AI systems are reportedly very advanced. They can personalize government tasks, assist with office work, and even handle emergencies. Soon, they'll become a common sight, replacing low-level civil servants. He concluded, "Our iron rice bowl is gone." Independent commentator Du Zheng warned that China's rapid adoption of AI could leave many traditional workers unemployed, worsening an already struggling job market. But what's even more concerning, he said, is the use of AI for law enforcement. First, these machines are equipped with advanced surveillance technology. DeepSeek itself has been banned in multiple countries due to privacy concerns. Second, AI has no human empathy, making it ruthlessly efficient in carrying out tasks, which could lead to humanitarian crises.